Hi guys, it's raining right now, and the dogs outside are kinda noisy, so please forgive me if you hear any of that commotion. Anyways, if you read the title of this video, you're probably asking me right now, what's your problem? My problem with Floryn is the same one you guys have because over 50% of over 300 people voted for her to be redesigned. Alright, when Floryn's concept art was revealed in 2021, I was disappointed to say the least. I knew Moonton was setting her up to be a nature spirit of some kind, but what bothered me most was how human she looked. Let's not lie, she literally looks like she's cosplaying nature. She probably just loves nature that much. To me, it looks like they were designing Floryn with much intention. That was the very thing she needed the most. The problem is, the concept of a nature spirit could have been expressed in numerous ways that would have been more effective and would make more sense for her. But no. They decided that Floryn was going to look like a young human girl who likes to wear flowers and leaves as a hobby. And mind you, Floryn is supposed to be a flower who came to life because of Belleric. I'm not seeing how she's a flower, it just doesn't read to me that way. I find it funny how they came to that decision when it was so obvious that she should have looked more different from the rest of the girls. And if you were to argue, oh well, then she wouldn't look pretty enough for the game. Well, that's the problem. They don't want to make the characters look quote-unquote ugly as to be more interesting. And you could literally still make her look pretty without making her look so awfully boring. That's another problem I have with her, is that she looks so awfully boring. And don't get me started on Dew. I know they included that little rascal as a companion so she doesn't look even more boring than she is without it. But it doesn't work for me because even in the game, Dew doesn't do much. It looks like it's just there, you know? It looks like they included Dew just for the guy to float around, I guess? The game doesn't do anything about Dew's rain summoning powers, and it kind of makes me a bit sad. As I redesigned Floryn though, I made sure I would do something about Dew so it would look like it was actually using its powers in the world in-game, as well as replacing the Flower of Hope with Dew so it would do more than just whatever it's doing in the game now. Wow, that was kinda like a tongue twister, wasn't it? So, going in, my goal for this redesigning project is number 1, to make Floryn actually look like a flower because she's supposed to be one. Number 2, for Dew to make more sense because is it really making much sense to me right now? And number 3, to be more intentional with my design decisions. Do note that whatever comes out of my mouth are my own opinions, you guys have your own, so I'd like to hear your thoughts as well on Floryn's current design and where you think she lacks. Alright, I'm going to stop yapping. Please note that there are going to be a lot of times where I randomly stop sketching in the speed paint, but that's just because my mom keeps telling me to do stuff. So to start off with conceptualizing for this new Floryn I had in mind, I began sketching out silhouettes for her, which was basically just 2 silhouettes with the latter having different variations because I really liked the idea and how intentional I was with it. The first one is inspired by those flower people from the movie Epic. I don't know if you guys have watched that movie yet, but it's really cool, you should go watch it. The other ones I liked better because it was inspired by a flower called the desert honeysuckle. Floryn is from a Delta dryland, so it would make sense for her to be inspired by a flower that would thrive in a hot climate. I'm not saying designs have to be inspired by real life necessarily, but it's also cool to expound on concepts that already exist because it makes more sense to us. I think it was just so fitting for her to be a desert flower because of the region she's from. I also think it's great that I get to keep her long hair in the form of these really long honeysuckle petals which droop down from her head, stemming from her body. My version's Dew was inspired by the fennec fox, which are desert animals. I don't know what the original Dew is supposed to be, so I looked for desert animals that I could build upon for the character. I settled with Design E to keep some of original Floryn's color scheme. My Floryn has warmer colored leaves, but she gets to keep the beautiful colors for her petals. I think the pink to peach color gradient pairs really well with the warm greens and really makes her pop, especially if you look at her from behind. In my version, I made her eyes look like a bug's eyes to lean more into the nature theme I had going on for her. In the case of the seed or the flower bud from where dew came from, I left it open to allow for storytelling. The flower glows the same color as dew, so it can be assumed that dew came from this flower, especially with the way that it looks visibly open with magic flowing from the inside. Like I'm saying that the animal hatched from this flower and you should know that. Like I'm screaming that to your face saying do not ignore this design detail. In her dress of leaves, I made sure to create details with swirling organic lines because she's supposed to feel gentle and soft. Organic lines because she's quite literally organic, stemming from nature, and so having motifs inspired by natural elements like crawling vines and incorporating that to my version of Floryn hopefully solidifies the design for the character. I also explored further by making more variations from this design by making the skirt look like flower petals, like her head. But I figured it would be better if her whole body just looked like leaves instead, to make her head really pop. In the end, I just put more details on her sleeves by including these small flowers hanging off of them like trim. There are also these little yellow filaments that drop from the inside of her head. I don't know what they're called, I'm not a biology nerd. And I put them on her eyes as well to look like long eyelashes. The ones from her flower I made glow a golden color to further express her magical origins. Making the in-game look, I sketched Floryn out in perspective as basis so I could deconstruct my final design and put her into place. I think I followed the same process as I did with my Aurora video, trying my best to blend the colors in and fill in the gaps if there are any. I think I'll do this process from now on because I think my in-game concepts look the best when I do this. Also, I made a color dodge layer to make some parts glow, and finally, I created a duplicate layer for her to create a shadow. For Floryn's passive skill, Dew, Floryn's companion Dew now latches onto allies instead of giving them the flower of hope. This should improve visual clarity by highlighting who was the Floryn buff, while also making Dew look like it's accompanying and blessing Floryn's teammates. Floryn's first skill, Sow, makes Floryn throw magical energy towards enemies which she takes from the magic in the flower, with golden spirals showing that it is infused with her own gift of magic. When it hits enemies, the same effect of a flower blooming appears, and fruits burst out to bless Floryn and her teammates with life. Floryn's second skill, Sprout, makes Floryn throw out a magical bud that sprouts a blooming flower when hitting the enemies. The magical bud blooms and explodes in an area, while magical particles sparkle before fading. With Floryn's ultimate skill, Bloom, Dew now does a rain dance to summon clouds that create life-giving rain, with magic energy pulsating onto allies for 2 times as little flowers spawn beneath their feet, further expressing Dew's life-giving capabilities. So, that was my interpretation of Floryn. If you like what I'm doing, please do support the channel by liking this video and subscribing. Do turn on your notifications to keep up with my content. Really hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. See you next time.